Teen Titans Go has a lot of heroes. Some are clutch, some are chaos, and some bench material. So today, I made a tier list you're going to argue with, ranking every Teen Titans Go hero from worst to best. And no, we're not ranking the entire DC universe, show canon only. No comics, no DC power scaling. So if you came here to argue that Superman solos everyone, drop that in the comments, I'll read it. Alright, let's go. In the last place, we have Robot Man.
Everybody let's dance like skis. Everybody let's dance like skis. Let me get a high five. Boomsies.
This guy literally does not fight. He's just there. Like a hype man who wandered into the wrong genre. Powers, technically he's built like a tank. Personality, also tank. Which means he mostly stands around yelling support lines while the actual team do the work. His biggest contribution is tossing teammates like human dodgeballs. That's not combat. That's Uber with extra steps. And the wildest part? The chief only made him a robot so he could do sick robot moves. Not to lead the charge, not to win fights, just to bust out the occasional robot dance. Robot Man's big highlight is watching him launch the chief over a huge clam, so he can drop some dynamite. I mean, that's not superhero teamwork. That's a Looney Tunes skit. All that build up and the highlight is Robot Man playing shot put with his boss. So yeah, Robot Man is fun background noise, but when it comes to saving the day, he's basically the team's Bluetooth speaker. Loud, supportive, and not much else. Straight to C tier. Next up, Bumblebee. She can fly, shrink down to bee size, zap enemies with electrical stings, and even command real bees. On paper, that sounds like A-tier material. In practice, she's the assist queen. Zaps the enemy, opens the lane, then someone else gets the glory. She's the alley-oop specialist, but almost never the one dunking. Her personality is peppy and optimistic, which is refreshing. But don't dismiss her ideas, because she will snap. Remember the picnic? Beast Boy hogged the food and she went from sweet to stinger in 2 seconds flat. And of course, the bee puns. Every other line is believe this or don't be selfish. Cute the first time, exhausting by the 10th. Bumblebee is reliable, fun, and actually pretty sharp. But Teen Titans Go never gives her the spotlight. She's used like a substitute teacher, shows up, corrects the chaos, then disappears. She's a solid helper, but not a headline act. And that's why she stays down here in C tier. And that wraps up C tier, the benchwarmers. Fun to have around, but when it's crunch time, you're not calling these two. Now let's move it up to B tier, the heroes who actually show up, help out, and sometimes almost steal the spotlight. Starting off B tier, we've got Elastigirl. Elastigirl is literally the team's human bungee cord. She stretches across the frame, snags 3 people at once, and then usually gets folded into a sight gag that the show loves to replay. She's crowd control and comic relief in one stretchy package. Her powers are actually super useful, shielding teammates like a human trampoline, turning into a rubber wrecking ball, or tying up half a squad in one move. But in Teen Titans Go, she's more of a setup character. She'll do the stretch gag, the crowd control move, and then someone else gets the final blow. But what really sets her apart is her vibe. She's the heart of the Doom Patrol, almost like the mom of the group. When things get out of hand, she's the one trying to hold the team together, literally and emotionally. So Elastigirl lives in B tier, dependable, caring, and always bouncing back. But the show never crowns her. She keeps everyone stitched together, but she's not taking the spotlight. Alright, stretchy saves are fun, but now it's time for the brains of the operation. Next, we've got the Chief.
Time to get extreme! Gnarly tricks!
This isn't just some random old guy in a lab coat, he's the one who gave the Doom Patrol their powers. His experiments literally changed their lives and turned them into a family. Without him, there is no Doom Patrol. That's legendary. But it's also messy, because in Teen Titans Go, every intention comes with a side of disaster. His whole vibe is, want to get extreme? And when you hear that, you already know something is about to blow up. His gadgets always sound groundbreaking, but they usually break the ground, the house, and sometimes the plot itself. That's the Chief in a nutshell. He's brilliant enough to create superheroes, but reckless enough to turn a solution into the problem. He's not the one throwing the punches, but he's the spark that gets the episodes moving, usually because the team are stuck cleaning up his extreme ideas. But you can't write him off either. He's the brain, the mentor, and the accidental chaos generator. He gave the Doom Patrol their powers, and in doing so, gave them their family bond. That matters. It's just balanced out by the fact that half of his plans end in rubble. So the chief lands in B tier, the genius who made heroes, the dad figure who built a family, and the mad scientist who still can't invent anything that doesn't explode in 10 minutes. Now let's cool things off with Aqualad. Whenever water matters, Aqualad matters. He can harden waves into shields, sling currents like a pro, and instantly calm the team with just one line. Put him near an ocean and suddenly he looks like a natural leader, but put him in a dry street fight, he turns into a very handsome loading screen. That's the thing with Aqualad. He's clutch, but he's situational. Near water, he's a highlight reel, blocking blasts, flooding enemies, and stealing the scene. Away from it, he's basically just moral support with great hair. And he really is cool. His design, his voice, his composure, Aqualad carries himself like he's 2 shows too mature for Teen Titans Go. When he steps up, you pay attention, because it feels like the episode suddenly got serious. But the show never keeps him around long enough to really dominate. He'll make the tide turn, then disappear again, like he's late for another cartoon. So Aqualad holds his spot in B tier, dependable, stylish, and always ready to make waves. But unless there's water, he's all dried up. Drain the ocean, cue the arrows, next up is Speedy.
Why is Speedy tied to a chair?
And in his underwear.
Speedy has a date with Starfire tonight.
Speedy's the guy who shows up with trick arrows, stylish landings, and the confidence of someone who already named his montage before the fight even started. He's motion, flair, and jokes all rolled into one. And in Teen Titans Go, that usually means he looks amazing. Right until the gag resets the board. But what really makes him fun is the rivalry with Robin. Both of them are dramatic, both think they're the perfect leader, and both are way too into Starfire. Speedy trying to slide in on Robin's girl takes their rivalry from friendly competition to actual fist fight, and the show milks it. Robin and Speedy will throw down just to prove who looks cooler next to her. Spoiler, neither of them ever really wins. That's Speedy in a nutshell, slick, stylish, Robin's headache, and the guy who always looks like he's about to steal the scene, but never actually does. So Speedy stays in B tier. Great rival, great energy, and always ready with the pose. But TTG cuts the camera before he even seals the deal. Alright, time to hit Kid Flash.
He's so
He's the blurriest!
He's flashy, funny, and always stealing the spotlight, especially from Robin. Kid Flash is the walking fast-forward button of Teen Titans Go. He can clear a room, rescue a teammate, grab lunch, and be back before the joke even lands. That's his whole deal. He solves problems in half a second. But the show usually plays it as a gag instead of a real win. And just like Speedy, he's another one of Robin's rivals. Robin hates that Kid Flash gets all the cheers and all the attention just by showing up. And to be fair, Robin's right. Kid Flash will swoop in, save the day in 2 blinks, and everyone's already chanting his name while Robin's still yelling about the plan. But the thing is, Kid Flash doesn't stick around long enough to actually lead. He's more highlight reel than captain. He's the blooper gag, the quick save, the cool cameo. When he's there, he's hype. When he's gone, the story keeps moving just fine. So Kid Flash is pure B tier. Fast, funny, and always one step ahead, but never around long enough to steal the crown. Now, if one speedster is fun, 2 are a drum solo. Up next, Mas y Menos.
Welcome you to the Titans.
Yo soy más y yo soy menos. Oh, aquí hay una chica guapa.
These twins are speed and mischief cranked up to 11. The second they touch hands, the screen turns into a drumline and the hallway turns into bowling pins. They don't just run, they perform! Their powers are pure montage fuel, and their best scenes feel like a music video that accidentally broke into a superhero cartoon. They bring energy, rhythm, and double the comedy. But just like Kid Flash, they don't stick around long enough to actually carry an episode. They zoom in, wreck the place, deliver the gag, and vanish before you've even caught your breath. And honestly, that's the point. They were made to steal scenes, not seasons. They're the definition of B tier, unforgettable in the moment, but gone in a flash, literally. Alright, the air gets colder as we step into A tier, starting with Negative Girl.
Ooh, negative energy.
Cold air incoming, A-tier starts now with Negative Girl. Every time she enters a scene, it's like someone dialed the spooky setting to 11. She doesn't just drop negativity, she lives it. And sometimes is it. She can absorb everyone's negative mood, wield it like a weapon, and if it gets intense enough, she gets giant and murderous. Not your typical mood. She doesn't just walk in, she distorts the room. People start clutching their favorite thing, getting weird, paranoid. She practically invites chaos. And that power doesn't stop at emotions. She can phase it into objects, take control of an arcade machine or even the chief's wheelchair and use it as a weapon. Talk about game over. But here's the thing, she doesn't need big speeches or flashy punchlines. She'll morph into a boot, scare the room into self-destruction, and we're all shook. It's a mastery of silent menace, and TTG doesn't teach that move often. So she isn't saving the day behind a spotlight, instead she makes everyone else feel like they're in the wrong genre whenever she enters frame. That's why Negative Girl sits firmly in A-tier. Quiet, eerie, utterly effective. She doesn't just shift the tone, she owns the scene. Alright, the Titans themselves step into the spotlight now, and we're starting with Beast Boy at number 5.
It's too fast!
This is the third time this week it's gotten away.
I made it!
Beast Boy is pure chaos with a conscience. He'll turn into the worst possible animal at the worst possible time, and then somehow make it work 2 beats later. Rhino to break walls, Hawk to scout, Octopus to multitask, or just a mouse slipping through where brute force can't. Half the time you think he's derailing the mission, and then he accidentally saves it. That's his magic. He's the ultimate curveball. The team's stressing out, Robin's overplanning, Raven's rolling her eyes, and Beast Boy does something ridiculous that resets the mood. His optimism is contagious. When he believes in the team, they loosen up and fight better. He's not just comic relief, he's fuel. And it's not just jokes. His messy, awkward romance beats with Raven add surprising depth. Even when they're roasting each other, you can feel the connection. Add in his endless appetite and random bursts of inspiration, and Beast Boy becomes the wild card who makes the Titans feel like a real family. Sure, he causes as many problems as he solves, but when Beast Boy believes, the Titans believe. That's why he kicks off our top 5 in A-tier. Glue, energy, and chaos you can't help but root for. Sliding into number 4, we've got Cyborg.
Super strength, fireproof armor, high jump boots, and power!
Cyborg is the hype machine of Teen Titans Go. He doesn't just fight, he turns fights into events. Arm cannon? Check. Scanners? Check. Endless gadgets? Double check. But what really sets him apart is how he brings rhythm into chaos. When Cyborg plugs in the playlist, the Titans stop stressing and start winning. And if you need proof he can carry, just look at the Night Begins to Shine episodes. That entire arc became legendary because Cyborg was at the center of it. The music, the energy, the heart. He didn't just contribute, he carried those episodes straight into fan favorite territory. But Cyborg isn't just hyping solos, he's the ultimate teammate. He can turn himself into whatever the squad needs, and he makes everyone around him stronger. With Beast Boy, he literally merges powers, turning BB into a grappling arm, a weapon, or the assist that seals the play. With Robin, he syncs up like clockwork, giving the leader the tech edge to actually pull off his crazy plans. That's what makes Cyborg so surprising. He's not only the muscle, the hacker, or the DJ, he's the guy who takes other Titans' strengths and upgrades them. He doesn't just fight with the team, he fights through them. And when he yells, "Booyah!" that's not just his win, that's everyone's. Coming in at number 3, we've got Robin. Robin is the overachiever of Teen Titans Go. He's the plan, the checklist, the guy who turns chaos into something almost organized. He'll scout the fight, rotate teammates like a coach, and somehow take responsibility for everything, even when it wasn't his fault. When Robin dials down the theatrics, he's actually brilliant. Simple plays, clear calls, clean execution, and suddenly the Titans look like they know what they're doing. That's A-tier leadership, but here's the catch. Robin never dials it down for long. The meltdowns, the obsessions, the desperate need to be respected, they drag him down. Instead of just leading, he spends half the show trying to prove he's worthy of leading. That insecurity is funny, but it's also why he can't touch S-tier. Still, Robin moves stories like nobody else. Without him, there's no plan, no motivation, no spine to the team. He's the captain of Chaos, the Titan who holds the tower together, and the only one crazy enough to keep hurting this circus. That's why Robin sits at number 3 in A-tier. Brilliant, flawed, hilarious, the Titan who deserves better, but sometimes deserves the roasting too. Now it's time for the legends. The ones who don't just show up, they define the Titans. Blasting her way into number 2, we've got Starfire. Starfire is raw firepower wrapped in sunshine. On the surface, she's sweet, polite, and endlessly curious. The kind of friend who'll bake you a cake and then ask what syrup of the sadness pancake means. But underneath all that, she's an alien warrior princess from a race of battle-hardened barbarians. When that side comes out, everyone in the tower knows to back off. Her star bolts hit like missiles, her strength rivals heavy hitters, and her emotions are her fuel. Get her upset enough, and she goes full Tamaranian fury, and in those moments, even her teammates fear her more than the villains. That's the beauty of Starfire. She can hug you 1 second and level a city block the next. Her innocence makes her lovable, but her warrior side makes her lethal. That balance of heart and havoc is exactly why she earns her spot in S tier. She's not just comic relief or backup firepower, she's the Titan who can literally end any fight by herself. And finally, standing at number 1, it's Raven. Raven isn't just the strongest Titan in Teen Titans Go. She's the backbone of the entire tower. Sarcastic, moody, and forever unimpressed, she's the one character who can roast everyone and still end up carrying the fight. Her powers are absurd. Dark energy blasts, teleportation, force fields, flight telekinesis, and that's before she calls in her full demon heritage. When Raven goes all out, it's game over. Whole battles shift the second she decides she's done playing around. But what makes her iconic isn't just the power, it's how she chooses to use it. Raven usually hangs back, rolling her eyes, while the others bicker or blow up the kitchen. But when things get serious, she's the ace in the hole, the one who pulls the team out of disaster. That dynamic makes every Raven moment feel bigger, because you know she's saving her energy until it truly matters. And of course, her dry humor is legendary. Whether she's dropping a deadpan one-liner, summoning a demon, or secretly reading romance novels, Raven is the most consistent mix of comedy and danger in the show. That's why she's number 1. Raven doesn't just fight villains, she has to fight her own inner demons before dealing with the others. And that's what makes her so compelling. The most powerful, the most reliable, and somehow still the most relatable, S tier undisputed. And that wraps it up. Every Teen Titans Go hero ranked from the bottom benchwarmers to the S tier icons. Some carried fights, some carried laughs, and some barely carried themselves. But every one of them left a mark on the tower. Now it's your turn. Who did I rank too high? Who deserved better? Drop your own tier list in the comments and let's see which Titan you'd crown as number 1. Thanks for hanging out, and until next time, stay tuned, stay chaotic, and remember, every villain needs a hero. Peace out.